All right, so awesome, Dane Martin, dude. Thanks for coming on. I know you have a lot of things on your plate. You could be at the gym right now, and you're not, and you're here on a web call cast of Unlighten Me with me. And do you have any idea what the Unlighten Me is? I think I told you a little bit at the show, but not sure.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of filled me in a little bit when we met at the Arnold that last time when we finally met
I
after
know.
conversing on social media for a while.
Yeah, I
But
know.
and you had
So
been like, "Hey, hit me up, be a guest at some point," and then here we are.
and
So,
here we are, and I'm no longer with Optimum. That ended. I don't even know when that ended. October, I think.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really sure. That was if you kind of look around and you go through the pages, you'll
well,
notice
I kind of thought because I was wondering when because I got off social media
you
for like
did.
3 or 4 months, and then I got back on, and then that's when you were like, "What happened to you?" And I kind of noticed that there was nothing there, and I wondered if that happened or not.
And yeah, it is. So if you look around, I'm gone, Kalechi's gone, Charles Glass is gone. Um, the list kind of goes on and on and on of a lot of the people who were away now, and
Yeah,
so it's just kind of interesting. It's the industry, right?
yeah.
So yes. So I saw you at man. Was that the Arnold this year?
No, it was last year. Isn't that crazy?
So it's been a year. Yeah, because the Arnold's about to come
Yeah,
up again. I was like,
yeah, yeah,
what? That my chronology is crap. I
yeah.
don't even try to play. So you're do you are you so what's your thing with DB Gear? Do you help them? Are
Oh,
you
so
part of it? Are you?
DB Gear is my buddy Dylan Burns.
Oh, I thought he
We
was being fancy with the dumbbells.
no, right. Well, it's a play on, so it works
Oh,
out, right? His name is
yeah.
Dylan Burns. Dumbbell, DB Gear, it all kind of works. It's very, very, convenient with his namesake.
I'm gonna have to give him a little
So
shit for that now, but all right, I like it.
yeah, yeah. So no, I'm just friends with him from just working or being at the gym and the bodybuilding type world around here up in Vermont,
Hmm.
and we just became friends. And he was like, "Hey, I'm trying to do the Arnold this year," and I went out with him and with a couple other friends and helped him run the booth and set all that up. And I help him. I'm like always wearing his stuff, so you can see.
See, yeah.
And but I help him out with like promotion and stuff when I can on social media. So
See, so that worked. And then, so is it? So Bell Club Apparel, is that his also?
Bell Club is my other buddy.
Okay.
Um, my other buddy. They've become kind of one. Since the Arnold, they kind of did a couple combination things together,
Okay.
and since then they've been doing a lot of stuff together. And um, but that Bell Club Apparel is my buddy Tom Lowell.
Okay.
I call him Tom Swole,
Uh,
and he uh, he got the idea for like this apparel line, like this like very like pro-American, American line. He was a Marine for a few years,
oh, see,
and
hoorah. Right.
yeah. So when he first started, we had like this big order. We randomly got in this thing called Gaines Box. You ever hear that?
Oh, yeah. Is that still around?
Like, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And it was like this.
Okay.
It was like one of the first like big subscription boxes.
Yeah.
And somehow like we were soliciting everyone, trying to like get the name out there. And we got in Gaines Box. And then they're like, "Hey, we need like 7,000 shirts." And we're like,
You're like, you need what?
"Fuck." But we had to fulfill the order, so we're like in his garage, like printing and like boxing. We got like his parents like boxing
Oh,
orders. Oh, it was
shit.
wild.
You guys were doing the screen printing yourself?
We did all of it. We were doing the
Oh,
shirts, we were doing the printing, the tags, everything. We had to hire a company to come up his big dirt road and pick up all the
dude.
boxes out of the garage.
Oh,
We got in a little
holy
over our heads.
crap. Yeah, damn. See, that's when you need to
Yeah.
reach out to people like me who has the network of all these things, and you're just kind of like outsource the hell out of 7,000 shirts instant.
Yeah, and there was like me
Holy
and him, and then like we're like my girlfriend at the time and his wife, and we're like just getting anyone we can to like, hey, let's take shifts.
That's hell. Because what else are you gonna do? How long did you have to
Yeah.
turn them out?
Oh, luckily we had like we kept telling them like, hey, we're a really small operation.
Yeah,
We need some heads up before you say yay or nay on this.
right.
And I think they gave us like 3 months.
Okay, that's
But
not
I
as
mean,
bad.
it's not as bad, but still, with everyone working actual jobs, and then like, yeah,
Wait, when you do the simple math, I won't do it for people. When you do the simple math of simply making the screen, laying the shirts, getting it right, rolling the ink,
Yeah.
pulling them off, doing the heat. So when you have this per shirt, it takes X amount of time per shirt, and you can't rush it. It
Right.
just simply takes the amount of time it
Right.
takes, and then you extrapolate that out over 3 months. You didn't have a lot of free time.
No.
No,
No.
it doesn't. It
But
doesn't work
we
that way.
pulled it off and got that, and then we all met. Like me and Tom have been friends since 3rd grade, so we've known each other
Okay.
forever. And then we met Dylan just via the small fitness world that is Vermont and New England,
Yeah.
and all kind of got together through that.
Okay, so not to hit you at this one. What is the okay? So this is my extensive knowledge of Vermont. Okay,
We have maple syrup and Ben and Jerry's.
I knew maple syrup. I didn't know Ben and Jerry's, but okay, so
Yeah.
now I know Ben and Jerry's,
Yep.
and I know everything is void in Vermont. Those are the 3 things that I know about Vermont. That's it.
It is true. Like
Hey,
anytime you see something, it's like
Void in Vermont, and I'm like, is that a different country? I'm like, what the fuck is this? Everything's void
it's
in
funny
Vermont.
because when I was little, I used to spend my summers in California to spend my summers with my mom. She lived in California on my school breaks, and people would be like, "Oh, where are you visiting from?" And I would say Vermont, and they would always ask what state that's in, and I was always like, "Well, it is a state."
Well, it was also California. I don't know if I don't know if I should be shocked by that one. I was like,
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just glad the East Coast got an idiot on their plate with Alexandria Cortez. Sorry, I get a little political plug there. I'm just kind of like,
She's the worst.
Well, it seems like they all kept coming from the West Coast,
It's true. Well, I mean,
right? And I want to play.
Pelosi.
I want to play some politics stuff with you later, but I was just a little stab that I was just kind of like, making fun of people in California, and I was like, oh, and it seems like a bunch of radicals, right and left radicals, fly out of that West Coast kind of thing, and I'm just like, man, finally there is a solid young nutcase straight out of the East Coast. It's about time, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm just going back. I'm like, man, these damn people. But so what's the fitness scene in Vermont like? Because it's like here in Houston, in Texas, it's year round. I mean, our super crazy winter, we like touch freezing once or twice, and that's it. So everybody's trying to get big all the time and lean and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So what do you guys do up there?
It's kind of weird. It's very, well, I mean, everybody knows everybody. It's very strange. Like, so I've competed in bodybuilding. And it's like once you compete or you're in kind of that realm around here, everyone else that does, or of everyone else that does. It's like that social media group even is like small. It's like everybody knows everybody. So it's a very small like pond. But there's CrossFit up here. It feels like CrossFit took a while to like make its way here. Like when it was taking like the rest of the country by storm, like Vermont wasn't quite there yet.
Is it because of the temperatures? It feels like the further north you get, the slower CrossFit took hold. Does that make sense?
I think you're right. It's weird because Reebok's headquarters is in Boston,
right?
Like so it's weird that it took so long. But I mean, last weekend within the weekend, it was like it got up to like down to like -30, and we got 18 inches of snow in a weekend. So that's Vermont. We're supposed to get like 5 inches tonight, actually, 5 to 8 inches tonight.
Houston gets hot as hell, dude. But I keep telling my wife, I'm like, you don't have to shovel heat.
It's true.
Like, I'm hot. Okay, go take a cool shower, get a glass of ice water, go in the air conditioning, whatever, chill out a minute.
Yeah.
When it's like that, you can't escape it.
You really you can't do anything, honestly. Like
that's insane, man.
And I didn't go to work. I didn't go to work last Saturday because I couldn't get out of my own driveway. I was stuck. I got stuck in my own driveway.
Oh, that's the kind of because it's not like you can go screw around and do anything.
No, you can't. You're just
you can sit or you can shovel snow, or sit,
much it.
Or that's it, or go make yellow snow cones or some kind of nonsense.
It's pretty awful. Even my dogs, like I know it's bad because I have 2 dogs and I opened the sliding glass door to let them out. And I remember last week it was so cold and snowing so bad, they legit just stopped, backed away from the door, and looked at me like no.
Nope. Oh man, see, that's the kind of stuff. It's always interests me how humanity populated areas like that.
Right, like back in like the 1700s. What the hell did they do?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Why wasn't everyone just like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's go.
go south. You know, I'm just kind of like, it just seems like there should just be a massive vacant tundra across the whole northern United States.
Exactly.
You know,
I agree.
And in today's time, I can see, some vacation homes up there and some stuff like that, tourist spots.
Right.
But people that like day in and day out live up there, it blows my mind. I'm convinced in the 1700s, from the 1600s to the 1700s and maybe in the 1800s, there was a massive heat spell, and it never got below like 40 degrees up there for like 200 years.
Otherwise, I can't make sense of it.
And there's no scientific proof that, see, people are going to kick my ass for this. Because they're going to be like, but blah, blah. You know, I'm on that shit. I can't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So in Vermont, like the scene, the fitness scene, is it a lot of powerlifting, Olympic lifting, things of
I would
nature?
I would say powerlifting and bodybuilding are the big things.
Okay.
I know a lot of powerlifting competitors. I've trained a few powerlifting competitors, and I know a lot of guys that do bodybuilding, and I know countless bikini girls, but I think that's just everywhere now at this point, right?
You know, I'm sitting here like flip my little papers and the fucking bikini. What is that?
Isn't that? I think that's just, I don't know. You know?
You know, it's gonna piss off a few competitors and things, but you know, whatever. What is bikini? What is bikini?
I don't even think they know yet, honestly. It's like, because I know a couple competitors. I've dated a couple bikini competitors, and like, don't get me wrong, they like work hard, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know what it is. Like,
okay, hate me for this, okay? So a quick backstory: I've never had alcohol in my life. I've never done a drug in my life. I've never smoked in my life. I've never.
I know you're like a straight edge guy.
I'm, you know, so even in that, I know. If I were a bikini competitor and I wanted anything to do with anything, I'm going to work my ass off still because I want to be fit, right? Love it. Fitness lifestyle. I'll do all the meal preps and post it and, you know, turn my ass to the camera a few times and get all the likes. Got it. Awesome. You know, squeeze up the boobies. You know, ooh, right? You know, whatever, dude. So I get all that. Okay, I understand it. Do that. The last thing I would ever do is pay money to enter one of these bikini contests for NPC or whatever, pick your organization. The first thing I'd do, I'd go straight to a motherfucking bar on a Friday night and enter one of their little random bikini contests and go home with $500 to $1,000.
Yeah.
And then I'd spend like $200 or $300 to get a really kick-ass photo shoot in the area.
Right. Yeah. I think that would actually probably be a better idea.
Like,
honestly,
let's make money on it.
Because there is no money to be made on it. The NPC is insane.
It's like,
it's insane.
Now Houston's got a lot more of a population, right? So, but every show, big or small or whatever the hell, in Houston and surrounding areas, anywhere in Texas, it's like every show's 200 competitors in bikini.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
I'm just like,
there's the Cutler Classic down in Boston.
Yeah.
And I've competed in that one. I know a few people that have done that show, and the bikini. I remember there was like 500 competitors at that show the last year I was at it, and like 200 or 300 of it was bikini girls. It was insane.
It blows my mind.
But,
and they're just
the NPC
paying money.
is laughing all the way to the bank about it. So
hell yeah, because these girls. Okay, so I'm on their side on this. Okay, I know when they think like I'm like, oh, go to a bar and do a bikini contest. Like I'm hating on women doing bikini. That's absolutely the opposite.
Right.
I'm saying monetize this shit. Like take your head out of your ass and monetize. Because those the bikinis they get are like $500 or $1,000.
They're insane.
Right, tanning's what $100 or so. You know
That's
all entry fees and all that other kind of crap. I mean, they're spending travel, everything, a couple grand for every show that they enter. And I'm like, stay local, hit the local bar and make $1,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a $3,000 swing. That's what
exactly.
I'm like, shit, I'm like, come on, man. And then, local people are going to love you. And then you may even get other little side gigs and pay your way through college through that stuff. And you're not having to do anything other than go deal with a few drunken men hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
Instead of, because locally you get a few drunken men hooting and hollering. At the NPC shows, you get like 1,000 drunken people hooting and hollering. So you can't tell me that the drunken people hooting and hollering is a problem because you get it on both sides.
Either way. Yeah.
So, but I'm just trying to help the bikini competitors out.
Yeah. Help us help you.
That's all I'm trying to say. So tell me something before we switch gears. What is your primary drive in bodybuilding and competing? Not just bodybuilding, because so like myself, even being older and not being competitive, I still bodybuild, right? I mean, still work on that kind of stuff. Have more lean mass than I did when I competed and all that other kind of nonsense. But what's your drive? What's your motivation or hitch to not only bodybuild but actually step on stage?
It's weird because it's kind of like I'm in like this weird transition at the moment with all of that. I've been kind of struggling like the last few months to like really like get in the gym and like really hit it like I used to. Like the gym used to be like my stress relief. Yeah. And the last few months, it kind of feels like more of an obligation. Okay. So I'm kind of trying to find that balance again of like enjoying it and like hitting it hard like I used to. Because when I was younger, it was like probably when I was like 15, 16 is when I really got into it. And it's really stupid, but this is like the story. This is like there's like a moment in my life when I remember I was like, that's fucking awesome, and I want to do it. Is for some reason I got a magazine in the mail, and it was just like it was a vitamin shop like promo magazine, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I open it, and it's a picture of Ronnie Coleman doing shrugs for like a No Explode ad, like back in the day, and he's all like, trapped out, and his veins are everywhere, and his fucking delts are like up to here, and I'm like, I saw that, and I was like, yes, sign me up somewhere, because that's awesome. Yeah. And my parents got me a trainer, and I started working out like 5 a.m. before school every day, before class.
Oh, damn.
And
okay.
Yeah, and it just kind of took off from there. And when I didn't compete till I was in college. I did a couple OCB shows, and then I took a few years off and went into the NPC. And but it's just crazy because I remember when I first started, I was like 150 pounds, right? And I'm like, man, if I could be like 170, I would be huge, bro. I would be huge.
And then the poison hit, and then the poison sank in, man. Yeah.
And here I am right now sitting at like 225. And
only if I could be 235. Only if I
exactly. Yeah. I remember because then I hit like 170 and I was like, 190, bro. 190 is where it's at. And it's never ending at this point.
That's why I'm just kind of like, and I don't know if it's competing for me, same thing. It was, I really honestly, my whole deal, lifting and all that kind of stuff, it's all mental, it's all stress relief, it's no secret. Sure. I deal with PTSD and all of the symptoms that come along with it. So it keeps this straight. That's totally the reason why I do it. Then the physique just came with it thanks to genetics, and I just care to eat a better diet. I've never been a big junk food eater, things like that. So it all just kind of worked into the bodybuilding. So I got bit by that bug for a little while, but then it's not to knock people who compete, but a little common sense kind of trickled in. And I was like, and I was in the natural circuits. So I'm winning all these titles in the natural side of things. And there's so many, 70 something federations globally. So I was just like, insane. I can never, ever, ever be considered a world champion, no matter how many world championships you win.
Because there's 1,000 organizations. So it's like, what are you going to do?
Thank you. Exactly. Then to jump to the NPC, I qualified for nationals in the NPC, but I'm not an idiot. That's as far as I'm going clean. I'll never go anywhere. I'm basically just under 5'9", and I'm on stage at about 210. I got no chance. Yeah. I got no chance. I need like 60 pounds.
Yeah,
to be competitive.
Exactly. When I compete in NPC, I'm a light heavy guy.
Yeah.
I'm in like the mid 180s on stage. And honestly, I don't want to actually really compete at any bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like at this point, it's like I don't really know what to do with it.
That's kind of my thing. That's why I'm just like, okay, and I'll just do this stuff and have fun with it.
So I'm thinking maybe of like giving powerlifting a shot. I don't know. Just I need like a new focal point. You know what I mean?
I have an idea for you, but we'll talk off air on that one. I don't want to give away my IP, intellectual property. If there's really any value to that, I don't have a damn clue. Whatever. It's bad. So I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to jump into
Okay.
a little bit of your work life, right?
Mhm.
Because I had noticed I had to actually ask the question to make sure. But
Yeah.
let me do this way. Tell everybody a little bit about what the title is that you do on the DoD side of things.
So I'm a force protection officer.
Right.
I'm basically the easiest way I find to tell people is like we're like civilian MPs of a military base. I find like the best way to put it.
Right. And that's one they start. I could be totally wrong with this. I feel like I'm right when I say this, because I served over a pretty long period of time. I think it was, I wouldn't say it was 98 or 99. They started doing that on some Air Force installations.
Mhm.
And then geographically, I'm not 100% sure. I think it was on the West Coast. It may have been in Dover on the East Coast. I'm not sure because everything was around so much. But that's when I saw that. I saw that on your uniform, and I was like, wait, so is it officer now, or is that what they were doing back then? And anyway, so I was just trying
Yeah.
to. I had to ask you that question, but then you're also exploring going into becoming a police officer as well, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping to like use that as like a bridge to becoming a police officer.
Right.
I went to school for exercise science, and I have like a bunch of like certifications, the NSCA and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of doing some of that part time now, but I mean, I kind of like to do both. Both interest me, obviously, but I like
Yeah.
the law enforcement side of stuff. It's always intrigued me. So,
So do you worry? So we're going to trickle into the political side of this. So
all right.
everybody take a deep breath for a second.
Yeah.
Do you concern yourself? Because in the Northeast, there is a greater or a louder voice dealing with potential police brutality and the
Mhm.
inequality, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Generally in the Northeast, right?
Yeah.
So now in Vermont, maybe not necessarily because it's a smaller community, but I mean, is that a concern of yours?
I mean, it's always a concern in the back of my mind. I think it would be stupid to say it wasn't.
Right.
Um, but I don't like let it like be the end all be all for what I want to do. So,
And that's because for me, as I'm not going to lie, law enforcement is extremely interesting to me.
yeah, same.
The dynamics of it, how it works, how it integrates into communities and the society. It's extremely interesting to me. Even the psychology of it, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I keep putting myself in there, and I'm going to classify myself very egotistically as a well-versed person in the world of enforcement and law and worldly knowledge and things of that nature, right? I'm so afraid I would abuse the shit out of the power of having a badge because of how frustrated I would get on a traffic stop by somebody screaming and yelling at me for no reason, saying I'm racist or saying that I'm this or
Right.
saying, and moving and flailing and being aggressive. I don't, maybe it's the military PTSD side of it. I was like, for me, I don't have the patience for that shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dumbass, you were speeding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write the ticket. You take the ticket and go.
Yeah.
Go.
Be on with your day. Yeah.
And here's
Yeah.
$1.50. Buy a cheeseburger on the way home. I don't
Yeah.
give a crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
I
just
think,
one of those.
Yeah. I think 10 years ago, I couldn't imagine doing it.
Yeah.
I also like growing up, I was like a kid that got a lot of speeding tickets and, had plenty of run-ins for college parties and stuff with the cops. So like, and I had all my friends knew I had a very short temper. Like I played football and I played college lacrosse and, I was usually in the penalty box. So
You had a reserved seat. Whatever.
so I had a very short temper. So like like 10 years ago, like there's no way, but I definitely have mellowed out and like, my thought process obviously has changed very much and my perspective on things. But yeah, I think now it very much intrigues me, but back then, absolutely not. There's no way I could have done it then. So.
See, that's interesting because, like, for me, I mean, obviously, I'm a little bit older than you. I went through probably in my early 30s to my early 40s a period that I probably could have been an amazing police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started to trickle out of those early 40s, I was like, my patience went to the freaking wind. gone. I'm like
Yeah.
gone. So it's like I see, and here locally, got a lot of officer friends and stuff,
yeah.
especially in the jiu-jitsu community,
Right.
and they're they're in that mid 40s, and there's a couple of the guys that are up close to 50 now, and they're looking at retirement. But
Right.
I look at them, I'm just like, how do you stay chill, man? Like, how on God's green earth do you
Yeah.
like keep it level?
Right.
And to I think you should have like multiple cameras, 360 camera on top of your head if you become a police officer, 360
Yeah.
on here, maybe a 360 on each shoulder, a
Yeah.
lot of
I agree.
microphones,
Right?
and just holy cow, one for entertainment, so you
Sure.
can monetize it, so you can
Yeah,
because we
absolutely.
know the salaries aren't that great, so you can quadruple your salary, and then so entertainment value, and then protection as well. But
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. Do you have any officers in the family?
No, I don't. I don't have. Only my grandfather was in the Marines, and so
Okay.
was my grandmother, actually. And that's really the only kind of thing in my family. My aunt's husband, my uncle, he's in the Navy.
Mhm.
But other than that, there's no real military or law enforcement in my family.
Wow. So what was the draw?
Yeah.
I mean, just all your own personal interactions as a youth.
Yeah, I guess like just being a terrible kid. I was like being older, and then like kind of like being like, oh, I kind of respect these guys. Like, I get it. I get their point of view. It's like when you get older and you're like, you go around turning your lights off in your house, and you're like, fuck, I'm my dad.
Yeah.
Like,
Shush. I was just doing that like 20 minutes ago.
so yeah, I guess it's kind of like that kind of thing.
Oh, man. All right. So are you in the application process of it? Or are you?
I am. I
Exploring
actually
it.
had an interview with the department today. So
Okay.
I'm kind of going through that process at the moment.
Well, I hope they hire you in spring. Okay. Like not
Yeah.
now. Okay. Just, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I don't really want to go run and do the academy stuff right now. So
Yeah,
let's
that's
keep
what I was
going
like. We're gonna cross our fingers that they hire you like mid-March, right? So it's all nice and,
for that. Right.
and,
for sure.
a little better. I mean, it's still Vermont. It'll still be cold as shit, but
Yeah.
the snow will be gone. With all
Yeah,
the-
exactly.
I'm just, oh man. But okay, so I want to. We were goofing a little bit before we jumped on about masculinity.
Yeah.
Okay, and the toxic masculinity
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff that's going on, right? So have you seen? Did you see the Gillette commercial that everybody was up in arms about?
I will admit, I actually never saw it. I just saw all the blowback from it. I saw like the clips on the news played. So I mean, I get like the message behind it or whatever they were trying to portray, but
I was kind of the same way. So I was like, you know what? I at least have to see the damn commercial. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I was like, damn it. So I watched the commercial and I was kind of like, it didn't, the blowback to me didn't match the commercial.
Well, that's kind of what I felt from like what I've seen of it. Now, like I said, I haven't seen the actual thing in its entirety, but the clips I've seen in the backlash from it, I feel like don't equal.
Yeah,
but
it didn't.
So yeah, that was kind of my take on it too.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, and then I'm the kind of person that, what's his name? Steven, whatever, the Change My Mind guy on YouTube.
Oh, Steven Crowder.
Louder with Crowder. Okay, I was just like the last name slipped.
Yeah.
So I'm more of that strain.
Yeah.
To where I'm like, I've got some firm stances on some things, and I'm just like, hey, you know what? It's backed by science, it's backed by biology, it's backed by genetics, it's back all of this kind of shit. I'm like, basically, I have that type of mentality. I'm like, change my mind. Like, I'll listen to you, and I'll have great conversations, all that kind of stuff. I love it. I don't want to attack anybody, and I go into every debate thinking in that similar fashion that everybody wants the best for everybody. We just have different ways to get there. So cool. So that's kind of my whole thing. Like, convince me, change my mind. So it's like I see some of this stuff and the gender stuff and this, masculinity things and all this kind of crap. And I'm just kind of like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I felt bad. Quick story, and then I'm get some of your input on this. So I have a 7-year-old. We're at the gym, and he's playing in the kids activity center and all this kind of stuff. And we come out and, while we work out and he's done. And he gives us a story about how some kid kept taking his hat and saying that, Boston sucks, which I'm sure you agree with, but it was his Red Sox hat, the championship hat, right? So clearly they suck. They won the championship, but whatever. So, Red Sox hat, and he's running around with all this kind of stuff. So my wife and I's first comment to him was like, if somebody takes your hat, you give them one chance, you just kick them in the fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like, punch them in the throat. Like, I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
what? They're screwing with your personal space, your personal product.
Right. Right.
It's
For sure.
effectively, it's like, it's harassment, it's theft, it's all this stuff. If the teachers aren't
Yeah.
going to do anything about it, take care of the damn thing. And we were telling that story to somebody, and the look on their face, I was like, oh, we said something really bad.
This isn't going to go over well.
Damn it. I was like, there's no stepping back from this one. And I was
Right.
like, oh. So I don't think those people are going to talk to us much anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, this is so serious question, and this is kind of fits in the Roman masculinity things. If you're out in public and you're doing things, if somebody harasses you or tries to take your personal property or tries to hurt you, what are you supposed to do in today's world?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's funny. I have a very similar story when I was younger. I remember this kid used to bully me a lot, and I had this big red jacket, and for some reason he fucking hated this jacket. He used to always make fun of me for my jacket, or like always fuck with me because of this jacket. And I remember one day we were out on the playground, and he like took my jacket and threw it and like stomped on it. And I like went home and told my dad. My dad's like, he takes your jacket again. He's like, you ask for it back, and if he doesn't give him back, you pop him in the face. So next day at school, same shit happens. I hit him in the fucking face. I get in trouble. I go to the office. It's a whole thing, but I got my jacket back. So, and it never happened again. So, and that, like, to answer your question, like, I don't understand, like, when, like, all those things with the politicians was happening, when all those liberals were harassing those people in public.
Yes. Yeah.
There's protests, but then there's interrupting people's personal lives, and there's platforms to do that, and doing it in a diner while someone's eating isn't it. You know what I mean?
No,
so, so, I mean, I don't understand either. It seems like if your opinion's wrong, you can't attack it, but if the other side's opinion is wrong, they can still voice it. So it's I don't know. It seems very contrived.
It is. It's very confusing to me that it's okay for one set of people to scream, yell, harass, disrupt another set of people's lives with no level of accountability or no way to cure the situation that's going on. That just is, it's very interesting to me that
it is.
We have found ourselves in that situation. Like, oh, mother. So it's me. I'm just kind of like, this is me. There's biology. There's men. There's women. And sure. Yes, there's straight people and gay people and lesbians and trans people and all of it. I get it all. That's great. And I'm happy. And I'm primarily conservative, but also very libertarian in the sense that live your life the best way it makes you happy. Just don't fuck with anybody else's life. Right?
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
So you get that. So if there's a guy that is maybe he's got a little strain of Neanderthal left in him, and he's a little more masculine and a little more aggressive and things like that, great, let him be that.
Yeah.
Right? Give him the outlet for that. Just the same way as if there's a guy that really likes to walk that line of being feminine, even if he's not gay, still straight, whatever, even if he is gay, who cares, but likes to walk that line of femininity, let him do it. If he's happy, God dang it, let him do it. So it's I'm curious of why like the attack on the masculinity.
I don't understand it either. And it's also it's very strange that all of a sudden, like, it seems like they talk about like the greatest generation and everything, and that was the greatest generation. That was a great generation, but that was like a very masculine generation. Like, not going to storm the beaches in Normandy as a non-masculine person. So it's like things like that. It's like my great uncle was at Pearl Harbor, and when it was attacked. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't like a non-masculine man. Like, I don't think he went to a safe zone when it happened. So,
no.
Or a safe space.
No.
So
yeah, not that there were any available, but I don't think he would have gone anyway. But
so it's just like, I don't understand why all of a sudden that being a man is now under attack. Like, it just it's testosterone, it's biology, it's in our system.
Thank you. And you hear all that, you hear cisgender, and you hear all this, male privilege, and then white
Yeah.
male privilege on top of that, and
Yeah.
all these things. And it's my belief that every group and person has some level of privilege over somebody else
For
in
sure.
different circumstances.
Mhm.
And I think really privilege. I mean, come on, man. Like, why? This means it's kind of like, is it going to exist? Yes. If you take a group of primarily European men and they are 60% the majority in a community, then anyone that's born into that's probably going to have a little bit of leverage, right?
Right.
I'm just saying,
absolutely.
if you work for a major corporation and you're working your way up, you're in the mailroom, but you know what? Your closest uncle is the CEO. Guess who's getting a promotion a little faster?
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
is right, which is irregardless of race or gender or anything. Right. Well, I mean, I said uncle, so obviously the uncle would be male, but
it's all about who you know. Like
right. And so it's just kind of like, I'm like, oh, that shit just drives me up the fucking wall. And so it's just kind of, I'm like, you know what? Let's focus on. This is me. I don't know how I get your opinion on this. Let's focus on just not tolerating racism. Let's just not tolerate people who are treating other people poorly. And that's the best way to do it. So if somebody's treating somebody like shit, how about we as a community just being people, all people, just stop tolerating it. Don't give it any attention. Don't feed it.
Stop giving it a platform. Yeah.
Thank you. Right? I'm like, I want to choke the shit out of people sometimes.
I feel like the more, like the racism problem, I feel like the more it's talked about, the worse the problem is, or the worse the appearance of the problem is. I feel like you're just adding fuel to the fire.
Absolutely.
So it's very frustrating. I agree.
And I mean, let me take it back to some degree. You have to have discussions because sometimes people really don't know.
Oh yeah.
If you grow up in a small enclosed community, you may not know how it is in a large, right. So there needs to be some education on it. Right. But this whole thing, like, oh, we have to open the conversation on whatever, police brutality. We have to open the conversation on equality. We have to open the conversation. I'm like, open the conversation. We've been talking about this for generations.
Yeah. It's not a new thing.
Right. I'm just like, it makes me tired, and I'm like, oh. And I promise you this, okay, because we did this super, super short story is I was helping my wife. She does some private investigation stuff, and then we were doing some things to bust people showing some of the pay-per-views a couple weeks ago illegally, right? So you go around to different restaurants at different bars that may be doing it and things of that nature. The deal is this. I promise you, I was treated very differently in a negative way when I went into a 95% African-American restaurant bar than I was when we went into it's about 85% Tejano or Hispanic or Mexican restaurant bar, right?
Oh, I believe that.
One, I was treated very poorly and suspiciously, and the other one I was treated really well with welcome open arms and all of that kind of stuff, and doing the whole thing, which I find interesting because then wouldn't that feed into kind of what we're saying, right, with the whole racism or this or that, so anyway, and that was kind of my little story there with the PI stuff, but like mother shit, what the fucking so I like this, so I'm having fun with all this, right? So I'm gonna kind of jump into a different one if you're cool with that. You got time?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what people's things are. You might have like something on the stove ready to burn or whatever.
No. I made sure I had a couple hours free because I worked out this morning. Like, we're good to go.
Oh, see, you didn't have to skip a workout.
No, I got one in this morning. It's my day off, so it's a good day.
No, yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, damn. That's where you're rested.
Yeah.
I was like, no bags under your eyes or anything. I'm like, now I see. So I gotta hit this while it's hot, kind of, because we're in a little down spin of it. But I'm gonna get your opinion because obviously you're more conservative. We just have to be forward with that. We don't want to make anybody think that you're a liberal spy or any of that kind of stuff. But because I want to hit the whole the wall, the border, the shutdown, that scope of things, the Democrats this and then the Republicans, all that, what's been going on recently. So obviously The government is open right now.
It is
Just so people who will watch this later. Right now, the government is open until the 15th of February? 19th?
I think so. One or
Like,
the other.
it was 3 weeks from when it reopened to when it
Whatever
goes down. 3 weeks, so mid-February. And then at that point, I think Trump has said that if nothing has passed, he's going to declare a state of emergency and fund the wall anyway.
I have a feeling that's going to be the outcome, but
I think so too. That seems to be it. So what is your, just generally give me your opinions on, the shutdown and how they're going about it and negotiations and the wall. Do we need it? Do we not?
Build it.
Kind of give me, yeah.
Short answer, build it.
Build it. Exactly.
Well, it's very frustrating because I feel like if Trump didn't want a wall, I feel like the Democrats would then want a wall. So, I feel they just go against whatever the man can do no right. And
I tend to believe that
he's done a lot of good things, and I feel like none of that kind of gets pushed to the wayside.
That's because he has a Twitter account.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but because he has social media, it's the end of the world, I guess. I don't know. So
I mean, because I'll be honest. Trump, in my opinion, Trump and his policy and his administration has done a series of things that very much look like they will pan out to be really good for the country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Agreed.
We don't know. It's short term.
Right.
We're starting to learn some of the things that President Obama did in his second and third year. We're feeling those right now. So it takes time, right? It's just simply, that's just the reality of it. So we'll be honest with that, is that it appears from our perspective that these things are going to pan out to be really good. But that dude in his Twitter account, man, he is the troll of all trolls.
I kind of like it.
Sometimes
I mean, obviously I voted for him, and I've even said, like, sometimes I just wish you would shut up. Like, sometimes, I'm like, just if I'm like behind the camera with him, I'm looking at him and I'm just like, just cut. But
like, I feel like I see it coming. I can watch him talk. And I'm oh, he's starting to ad lib.
There's like foreshadowing of it, and you're just like, fuck, here it comes.
It's horrible.
We're fucked. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
It's horrible.
You're
man.
like, CNN's about to have a field day. Like,
oh yes, yeah. That's yeah. And that's because you get the headlines like that, like CNN, right? I mean, all of them do it on their side or whatever. But you said that, and then CNN one popped into my head that when Trump agreed to reopen the federal government in hopes that the Democratic side would negotiate on national security, the first headline out on CNN was the president or Trump or President Trump, however they classified that, crumbles under the pressure. It gives in and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait, what? That's not being very genuine or authentic to what's going on. I was like, damn it. So, one of the things, if you remember this, is so less than a year ago, the Democrats agreed to 20 plus million for the wall and national security, right? And then now they're saying that the 20 something billion, not million, billion. So now what they're saying is that this 5.7 or 5.5, whatever, between 5 and 6 billion is now immoral. Mm-hmm. I have yet to hear how 20 plus billion is not immoral, but 5 plus billion is immoral. Like I haven't heard how that exists.
I don't understand either. Or that the law they just passed in New York is immoral.
Oh,
but
son
that's
of a bitch.
That's a different topic.
I read that today. We could jump into that. I read that. I read it today.
It blows my mind what like Democrats view as moral and immoral. I guess like when it's their own citizens, it's okay. But
I mean,
it's just like
I'm not going to pretend I'm smart enough to determine when life begins or not. Right.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm not going to claim I do.
I'm not going to pretend that, right? But I've seen, especially in my service, I've seen some really crazy shit that no human should see, dealing with
I'm sure
women that were pregnant at certain levels and things of that nature, explosions and bombs, and anyway, it gets messy. I've seen what 12 and 18 and 20 weeks looks like,
Mhm.
right? And in a not pretty fashion.
Mhm.
Holy, to think it is okay up to 24 weeks to do that. And you could even do it up to
Up to birth.
okay, up to birth. And here's what it is. So and this is where I was in the beginning, because I took what the news conference was verbatim, and it was, if the mother's health is at risk,
Right. That's what I read too.
it could be done. That's true. It is, if the mother's health is at risk.
Right.
Unfortunately, what I read today, at risk could be high levels of anxiety due to the pregnancy.
So it's basically left to interpretation. It's just vague.
Right. The comparison, the legal comparison, would be back before weed was legal in California.
Mm-hmm.
So to get medicinal marijuana, you could go into anyone and you just basically say, "Yeah, my back hurts. Yeah, exactly. Here's your weed prescription. Go get it."
Right.
That's the level of risk to the mother, up to the 24 weeks and even up to birth. I'm like, oh, yeah, that blows my mind. Shit.
Yeah.
I can't comprehend that, man.
I can't either. I just don't understand it. I hope that, like, I guess the only way, like, to make it make sense is, okay, it's passed, but I'm hoping that people are smart enough to just not put it into use. You know what I mean? Like, women won't just, like, I guess, use it, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to have the kid, just have the kid. Like, just put it up for adoption. Like, if that's really the biggest thing, like, you know?
At that point, yeah, I'm like,
at that point, you know?
Fuck, man. Because at that level, it's also what it is just based on the medical side of it. When you're that far along, they have to basically euthanize the fetus, and you still have to give birth. Right? Barring some other thing, and they'll do a cesarean or whatever, but still, you still are giving birth. And so I'm thinking, like, maybe this is me selfishly, maybe I don't understand what's going on, but take it to term and just give it up for adoption.
Yeah, that's like my thought process.
I'm just like, wow, because I think this, and I'm going to project a little bit of psychology onto this. I think at the time, the mother is probably not really regretful of doing the abortion, right? And I'm going to say, to me, I'm going to say late. Late is right. I'm not for abortions, right? I'm pro-life, so just to put that out there. But once you're like past that 12 and 14 and 16 week type time frame, at that point, that's crazy to me. And I don't believe the mother is regretful by doing the abortion then at that time, right? But I think when that stuff sits for years, you know, I tend to believe, I don't know that I've tried to look for studies for this and I can't find any, because I think most mothers that do the abortions and stuff like that are hard to track and hard to find, and I don't think that they would willingly talk about it years down the road. So it's hard to find data on it. So I don't have any scientific evidence on this, but I really feel like that's going to create a lot of problems for that woman 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 years down the road.
For sure. I don't know how it wouldn't, honestly.
Right. And that's kind of like
definitely a very strong, like, psychological side to that that's not explored or even known. So
right. And I'm going to back up and I'm going to say, I don't believe there's necessarily that same psychological potential trauma to a mother if it's done morning after pill or, early on, to where it's just whatever, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, where it's really uncomfortable for a little bit of, I don't want to, I feel weird differentiating the two, because I think people are going to call me a hypocrite. Right. But I'm not. I just don't think there's the same psychological.
I feel I agree though. I feel like those are two very different time periods. So
I'm just like, now I couldn't find. I don't know if you know this. I couldn't find anything anywhere. But what was the push to pass that law or to change that law? I don't necessarily understand that. Were there things going on?
I don't know what the big drive and story behind that is. Actually, I would like to know that.
Yeah, that one, I don't know that one. Because I do know that the old law was at 24 weeks, it was considered homicide.
Right.
That was the old law. So it may be just simply removing the term homicide from it, maybe just open that up legally.
I guess.
But Oh man, because I was just kind of like I kept hearing stuff and hearing stuff, and then there was one little like 7-minute debate I saw on some channel on YouTube, and I was like, you know what, I need to read this thing, and it's not long. Once you get past like all the definitions and all that kind of stuff, which is like half of it,
Yeah.
once you actually start reading the law of it,
Yeah.
it's really not that long. It's not a long read. So I was just kind of like I went through it, and I was just like, holy crap, that is way to go,
Yeah.
New York. Like,
Yeah,
what the
right.
shit?
And they're like all cheering and everything. I don't know. It blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't
But
understand
it's
that
really
one.
immoral to build the wall.
Well,
So
yeah. So jumping back on that. So
yeah.
this is what I don't get. Okay, so I agree. An overwhelming majority of drugs come through roads and rivers and the air.
Right.
A wall isn't going to change much of the drugs. A wall may have a 10 to 15% decrease in human trafficking. Not a lot, but it's still some. And it's still some. And I'm thinking this. I'm just kind of like, if you have this massive open space, and if we can reduce, let's say, a wall across the entire southern border costs, I think it's estimated at about $30 billion. Okay. Let's say it costs $30 billion to put that wall there, right? But in doing so, we can reduce 10%, okay, of the illegal immigrants that come over, right? When you extrapolate that out, the wall will pay for itself in 2.5 years.
Absolutely.
And those aren't my numbers. That's both Democratic and Republican numbers.
Well,
And
even the guys that work at the border have said that the wall, having the wall isn't the end all be all, but it also frees up their guys to be at other points.
Exactly.
So so it has that effect too. It's not I don't think anyone's saying it's the end all be all for like stopping everything, but yeah, like you said, if you extrapolate that over time, it's going to pay for itself, and it also frees up guys to be at more focal areas. So
exactly. And in that funding,
so hard to understand.
Yeah, and we'll be honest, is in that funding is increased technology, increased Border Patrol agents, increased pay for those agents,
right,
increased attorneys and judges to help expedite all of the immigration things that are going on currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're just saying, oh, just the wall and we're going to be great. There's all these other things that are already implemented,
Right.
And so I'm just kind of like, let's just, I can't see why we don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't either. And also in the grand scheme of things, I hate how they play up the $5 billion being such a ginormous amount of money when it's like, what do they say? It's like 1/10 of 1% of our budget. It's so minute in the grand scheme of things.
It's almost
to shut things down, and to have this over such a really almost insignificant amount of money as far as the United States budget goes is really ridiculous.
It is what, money in the margins, I think I've heard they call that. I think I've heard it called. It's half of what the assumed error in accounting is in a year. So it's, so just simple errors in accounting that go through are going to be twice what this portion of the wall is going to cost. And so it's just kind of like, wait, I can't grasp it, dude.
I can't either.
I know. It's just like, people are like, oh, but you can't do that. It's immoral. I'm like, why is it immoral? We're going to have increased ports of entry that are better controlled, better manned, better facilities to hold people that do get over. Right. So we don't have to separate families, and we don't have to do all that kind of stuff, which is right. I mean, I understand that. Let's not separate families that come over. Great. Right. So this gives funding for that. I'm just kind of like, I really want to know from the left, or even people from the right that disagree with it. I don't know many, but where's the immorality come in?
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't get it. And I don't get the argument that, like they're not doing anything wrong when it's illegal immigrants.
Right.
They've broken the law right off the bat. Like,
right. I'm just kind of like, they're just trying to make a better life for themselves. Go to a port of entry. Yeah. Do it the right way. Try, and they're like, oh, but it's really difficult and really expensive. Sorry. You
Yeah.
know, like it's just, like, and you can't claim asylum and refugee status just because you have a
Just
low-paying
because.
job in another country.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's not
It's
reason
not
to.
a reason. No.
People like, oh, but that's our laws. I'm like, no, 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 no. That's an
No.
international law that all the countries agree with.
Yeah. Yeah.
That. So I'm just like, oh, damn it. Like, I don't know what to like.
Yeah.
eh, yeah, that's the thing.
Mhm.
Whatever. So I don't want to kill people with that, but I do want to have some fun. Super
Okay.
Bowl. Your favorite team, the New England Patriots, are going to the Super Bowl for the ninth
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I feel
And
like have you seen that? There's a meme out. Remember when Trump got elected and there's that picture of that woman
like
like
freaking out.
crying
Yeah.
and howling?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
how I feel with the Patriots. And I saw it the other day. Someone posted it, and it's like when you have to watch another Super Bowl with the Patriots, and it showed that woman. And I
Yeah.
pretty much share that sentiment because I just don't fucking like those guys.
Yeah. Well, who's your team? Do you have? I mean, well, I guess, do you have a team or do you have?
I do have a team. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan.
Oh,
So
we'll
I was,
see. I was kind of with you there
and
for a
we
long
beat
time because from Houston and the whole,
yep, and we beat the Pats this year. So I was like, yeah, and then we didn't even make the playoffs. And but yeah, I was a big Steve McNair, Eddie George guy when I was
I
younger.
loved Eddie
So,
George. Yeah,
yeah,
I loved
Eddie
Eddie
George is the man.
George. And
So
then when
yeah.
they had what was his name? They called him the Freak, the defensive end, hybrid defensive end, one of the first
John
ones.
Curse.
Curse, yes. Oh,
He was the
was
man.
badass, dude.
He
That
was
was
awesome, dude.
I loved him, dude. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, dude, that
he was
defense is
insane.
nasty.
That was yes. And they were a yard and a half away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I know. And then the next year the Patriots had to come in and actually beat the Rams because the Titans couldn't.
Yep.
But
Yeah. You're a dick.
shit. Right? I mean,
Jesus.
it's just what it is.
Yeah.
That they so this will make you feel better, right? So
Uh-huh.
I love football. I've been a huge football fan my whole life and done stuff with, University of Texas and University of Miami and Virginia Tech and strength programs and coaching, all this kind of stuff, right? All the way through and been involved. I never really had a team, right? I just loved the sport. Like there were players that I loved to watch and all, across the board, and really, I guess you could probably say, if I had to say I had a team growing up, it would have either have been the Chicago Bears or the 49ers.
Okay.
Because I was a huge Montana fan, Jerry Rice fan. So there were two guys on that team.
Right.
And then Walter Payton and Mike Singletary on the
Okay.
Bears. Those were, now I had
Can't
other
really
favorite players,
Yeah.
but those were the only teams that I had like two on
Right.
at the same time, if that kind of makes sense. So
Mhm.
you had to say that'd be those. But really, I love good matchups. I like the chess match of it. So when I married my wife, she's from Boston,
Mhm.
and you know how Boston fans are.
Yeah, they're the best.
Yes. So I became a Patriots fan and a Red
Yeah.
Sox fan. I love Ortiz though. I can't lie. He's fun. But became a Patriots fan and the Celtics fan and a Red Sox fan, and we're not really into hockey. Sorry, I know that's up there, but
No,
not
I'm
our
not a
big
hockey
deal.
guy either. I catch a lot of flack for it because
Yeah, it's just I never.
Yeah.
It's cool. I get it, but it's
Yeah.
not my deal.
it's not a deal for me.
And so I always tell people, I'm just like, you know what? My wife's a big fan, so I took her teams on as my teams, and just thankfully she wasn't from Cleveland. I was like, woo.
Always be worse.
It could have been a lot worse, man. So in that regard, we had a lot of fun because they make a lot of Super Bowls. So it is what it is.
No, I just keep waiting for that day that Tom Brady retires, and you all have to come back to reality. And
I think
I'm really
I think
holding
that's
out for it.
I think that's about hold on, let me look. I think that's about 5 days away. I'm like, that's my guess.
Yeah.
I will be shocked if he comes back another year.
It's crazy especially if he wins. It'll be what, his sixth one if he wins, his sixth ring.
Yeah,
And for him to just what else? Like he's got nothing to prove.
No,
You know what I mean? And
No.
every year, you never count the fucking Patriots out. At least I do. I'm just And I hate watching the games with Patriots fans because it drives me insane because they'll start to lose. And I'm so used to like I've sat through like 2-14 seasons with the Titans. So it's like
so you know what losing is.
Yeah, I know what losing is. So they get down by like a touchdown or something. They're like, oh, we're gonna lose. This is over. And I'm just like, you guys got Tom Brady. Like, why are you stressed out? And then sure as shit, they come back and win. And I'm just like, I don't know why you guys were ever worried. Like, I don't understand. Like, you guys don't know what a stressful season is. Like,
no.
Like, you guys didn't have Jake Locker as a quarterback.
Oh, I forgot about that, dude. That I have a little spot in my heart for you guys with that one. That one hurt. I was like, oh man,
It was horrible.
But yeah, so you got to take it this way. Gronk is most likely not coming back. He's just
he's talking retirement.
Right. They had to really work to get him back this year.
Yeah.
Right. So Edelman, I'll be shocked if he has a brain left with how many hits he's taken after this. You know what I'm saying?
He's like our size. He's not like a big dude.
Exactly. I think he's 185 pounds, dude.
Yeah, he's not a big guy, and he gets rocked.
Oh, he gets killed. So he's gone. One or two of the offensive line are definitely gone. The McCourty twins, if they win, said they're retiring.
Yeah.
So they're out. Hightower's got to be. I mean, really when you break it down, like 60% of the team's retiring.
Oh, they have to be. Like, like the McCourty twins have been around for a while.
I know.
One of them played in Tennessee for years.
I know.
Like, I thought they keep moving them around. They started as corners, and now they're trying to preserve them as much as they can.
I know they're just like little dinosaurs out there running around. Like, oh, but it is cool that they're twins. They got together for 1 year and they make the Super Bowl that year. That's a fun story, man.
That is a story.
So, what's your prediction on it? Who do you think's gonna?
The Patriots are gonna win the fucking thing.
I believe that. I believe that because I don't trust Goff.
Yeah, I don't. There's no way Goff outguns Brady.
I don't think
the Rams have better weapons. Like in my eyes, the Rams have better weapons. They're a younger team, but the fucking Patriots have this guy, and his name is Tom Brady, and I'm just not picking against him. I'm not doing it.
Yep. TMFB, Tom motherfucking Brady, and all of that.
You unfortunately cannot pick against that guy. You just can't.
No. And I think Belichick is going to do some things to make Goff make a couple of really bad mistakes in that game.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that's going to be the difference.
He's been around a little bit. He knows a thing or two about,
I'll be surprised. This would be if I have to pick a score, I'm going to say 34-28 Patriots.
I don't know if it'll be that high.
Yeah, I think because I think the Rams are going to score at least 3 touchdowns on 3 good drives. Right.
You're probably right. The Rams got a pretty explosive offense.
It's just going to happen. They're a tick behind the Chiefs. They got so many. Then the Patriots are going to score that many because Goff is going to fuck up bad twice.
Yeah, I agree.
He's going to make 2 really bad mess ups. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to score their 21 points. The Patriots, the Rams will score their 21 easy. Patriots are going to get 2 touchdowns off of turnovers. There's your 34 and 35. And and we're there. So
a futile comeback attempt by the Rams to make it 34-28.
It could be, and now it could be 34-28 and the Rams have the ball and they're driving and it just fizzles out and that's the game. It could be a situation like that. They could throw a kick-ass pass and just kind of get it and roll and fall down like on the 1.5-yard line.
Yeah, like here we go. Are you bringing that back now?
Yeah, you like that?
You came full circle. That was well played. So.
The bam. I mean, you can't just stab it in your back. You got to twist it a little bit to get the full effect.
It would make me really happy for the Rams to lose on the yard line. It would be.
It
would be kind of justice. So
that would be ultimate payback for you.
It would.
Yes. With a pass, like trying to break the tackle.
Yeah, just kind of trying to extend. Yeah.
Yes. Anywhere inside the 2-yard line, you're gonna be like,
absolutely.
Yes.
I would be stoked.
I love it, man. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, man. That's man. We're kind of at that mark, and seriously, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
you got a lot going on. You could have been shoveling the last hour.
I could have. You saved me from that.
I saved you, man. So you get to be
Yeah.
comfortable and warm
Yeah.
and all of those things.
Yeah, man. This is
So yeah,
awesome.
so people can see on the screen where to find you on Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Obviously, you gotta give a little shout to DB Gear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I
you can
mean,
follow DB Gear at, I believe his Instagram's just DB Gear, and then Dylan Burns.
mhm.
Either way, it pops up, and he's on Facebook as well. So
Yeah.
and Bell Club Apparel, Tom
And you got
Swole at Bell Club Apparel. So
you have stuff going on with Redcon One or
yeah, It's weird. I kind of got hooked up with them randomly. I just kind of like became one of their like affiliates, and then I became like good friends with some of their office people at the Arnold last year, and then I've kind of been working with them. So yeah, I'm one of their affiliates too.
okay?
For the
So should
Redcon
they
One.
go to their page or should they hit you? Like, do you have a link or
Hit me up. Go through
okay?
my Instagram, and everything's on there
Okay, that's
for that.
okay. So make sure because sometimes with the way that stuff works, if they just go straight to them, then you don't get your props.
Yeah,
And we need to make sure that people do the right thing.
yeah.
Pay's got to go where pay's got to go. Damn it, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
Get it. Well, awesome, brother. Thank you. I'm gonna hit you because I'm gonna bug you about some of that contest stuff later. But I'll hit you on.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll message you later, and we'll I'll chit chat and see what you think about that. But
All right, sounds
it's
good,
all
bro.
good. It's all good fun stuff. But awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care. Stay
Yeah,
warm.
man.
And
Thanks.
and good luck on getting that police job in spring.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Not before. Awesome.
Praying
Thanks,
for spring.
brother. I know, right? Thanks.
Yeah.